Hello everybody, I am Agnel Angle, and we are playing some more Greatest Attorney Chronicles. I'm really happy because I found a way to plug in my headset to my second monitor, which is just my TV, mounted above my computer. It's a little bit of a ridiculous setup, but my cord is stretched right now, and also for some reason, it's only coming out of one ear. So, luckily, it's coming through the ear that I usually have on, because I have one off so I can hear my voice properly while I'm acting and stuff. But, yeah, it feels weird. But, no more delayed audio, because before I've been listening through OBS is preview, so, like, it's been rough, in other words. Oh, that's right, we left off on a huge cliffhanger. What on earth just happened in there? Mr. Naruhodo, I've managed to find out what happened. Oh, thank you, Mrs. Sato. Mrs. Sato! I was told it was an advanced form of smoke grenade, a type of exploding device that releases smoke. A smoke grenade? It sounds like the sort of thing ninjas use. They're making sure everything is safe now. I think the trial will start again before long. The trial will begin. I swear, I'm amazed that didn't happen. But who would have done something like that? I wonder if it was the little urchin that, McGuilded was referring to. The police managed to catch someone who was trying to flee the courtroom, apparently. Flee the courtroom? Why? Well, it's a young girl of around 15, I hear. A young girl? Then could it be the other passenger that McGuilded was just talking about? My thoughts exactly. So he wasn't lying. Oh, what's become of Mr. McGuilded, actually? There's so many things I need to ask him about, but he's not here. I think he's taking a fat dump in the restroom right now, Mr. Naruhodo. I think he was summoned to the prosecution's antechamber to answer some questions. Oh gosh, I cannot imagine how angry Van Zeeks is in the prosecution's chamber right now. Along with the young girl. Who is she, I wonder? And what was she even doing here at the trial? She was taking a huge risk, and for what possible benefit to herself? There's another matter that's troubling me. What's that? The 20 pence. Oh, according to the coachman, Mr. Beppo. I can't believe she has a transcript of the court so far in her book. I'm so baffled. He took 4 passengers that night at a fare of 5 pence each. That comes to a total of 20 pence exactly. But now it seems there were in fact 5 passengers, which means the figures don't seem to add up again. She's right. That is strange. Yep, here we go. Counsel for the defense, kindly proceed into the courtroom. The trial will recommence in 5 minutes. Oh, thank you, officer. We'll go in straight away. Well, whoever she is, I imagine this young girl will be asked to take the stand and testify now. Yeah, no shit. I really can't imagine what she's going to say, but it could alter the whole direction of the trial. We'll know soon enough, Mrs. Sato. Yes! Oh, we get a black screen? They're not even going to show us who she is. Hi! There's the young girl next to Mr. McGuilded, look. She must have been the one who caused the disturbance before. Well, after that rather eventful recess, the court will now resume the trial of Mr. Magnus McGuilded. Now then, Lord Van Zeeks. My lord. They're difficult to switch between. I believe you have established the cause of the smoke, which failed proceedings earlier. It seems to have been an advanced form of smoke grenade of the sort typically employed by the army. Good gracious! The army! What in the devil's name? It was an elaborate attempt by a young girl to cloak her escape from the public gallery, but she was caught. And now occupies the stand. Your name, girl?
Are you responsible for the smoke grenade which induced such pandemonium here in my courtroom?
I never take in enough air when I speak as him.
What is the meaning of this deplorable behavior?
If I may, my lord.
Yes, Mr. McGuilded?
I think perhaps I ought to explain here. No, you don't speak for her. You're not her guardian. Why it is that this wee lass was here in the first place, and why she tried to bolt like that. I already forgot his voice. It is all tied up with the events of that night, so it is.
Very well, Mr. McGuilded, give your testimony. You will explain to the court exactly how this young woman is involved in the case.
Have we proven that she's mute or something? Like, Vinzies, have you talked to her? Probably not. Just what did happen that night? It's not like a defense lawyer needs that information or anything, for real. You'll be fine. On the night in question, I took the back seat in the omnibus and promptly nodded off. Sure you did. Then Begorra! Begorra? A loud thud and a wee scream woke me up with a fair start. There was a fellow collapsed on the floor at my feet, so I set him up on the seat across from me. Then I turned to find out where that scream had come from, and bless me soul, what did I find? There was a child in there, all curled up in a ball, hiding a wee self away. In there, you're gonna have to be a little more specific.
I've remained somewhat baffled, I confess. But from what I gather on the night in question, this young girl was indeed riding in the omnibus. Is that correct?
It is exactly as the defense counsel said. This lass was the 5th passenger, me lord.
Very well. The defense may now cross-examine the witness. Are you ready, counsel?
Yes, my lord. Or rather, no. I have no idea where to start. Okay, thanks. Real helpful there, Vinzies. Very helpful. We'll press some stuff, because I didn't press enough last time and we missed out on some funny dialogue, I think. I'll start pressing. I'm gonna have the walkthrough open, just in case. It's just with stuff like this, it's tedious, because, like, I already know what happens. I know everything. And now my singing won't be off time. Brilliant. Press on all the statements. Okay, we gotta press everything. I'm glad I didn't only press some of them then. Okay, and when you first got onto the omnibus, were there any other passengers already on board? There were not. The cabin was empty, and there was no one on the roof deck either.
You were the first passenger, as it were. I see.
Aye, and that's why I took the back side as I did. 'Tis the most comfortable, so it is. Okay. Could you explain exactly what you mean by the back seat? By all means. Just how you already described it earlier. I'm talking about the seat opposite the one which the poor gentleman who was stabbed was sitting. Like I said, 'tis the most comfortable and where I feel most at ease. And of course, I enjoy gazing through to the skylight from time to time as well, in the dark. Really? They just keep giving us ellipses from him. Is it that important that we know that he said ... Okay, a loud thud, you say, and a scream? Aye, that's right. How can I explain it? 'Twas like the sound of someone falling to the ground, that sort of noise. So, do you think it was the sound of Mr. Mason having, falling to the floor having been stabbed? I need to stop reading ahead. Well, now, you'll remember I was asleep at the time, so I wouldn't like to say. And when the sound woke me and I opened my eyes, there wasn't a soul to be seen in the carriage but the fella on the floor. Even though it was, according to, Ladies First, it was locked. You didn't see anyone. But at the same moment, you did hear a scream.
Ah, from the seats above you on the roof deck, I presume?
Not above me, no, me lord. 'Twas from inside the cabin. But I wasn't altogether thinking about the scream. No, I was too stunned by the desperate sight before me eyes. Also, I love that he has naturally blue hair and no one addresses it. I love when anime does that. Like, it's so ridiculous, especially in the setting that we are in. It's wonderful. You love to see it. You sat him up? The victim, you mean? That I did, on the seat across from me, as I said. I could plainly see the poor devil was already gone. What? Then why did you touch him? I'm livid. And you wouldn't leave a dead man just lying on the floor, now would you? Yes, because you're tampering with a crime scene. 'Tis common courtesy, so it is. I find that a little hard to believe. Ah, Lord Van Zeeks! Now why would that be? You wake to find a man lying dead at your feet in a carriage. Any normal person would hail the cabman. I know I do it all the time. Any upstanding member of London society, that is. Really, any person who has common sense would do that. Oh. Well, now, as you know, I'm in something of a special line of business. Why is that relevant?
The business of lending money at exorbitant rates of interest.
Get him! Santa is taking no prisoners today. Unfortunately, me lord, not everyone is thankful for the help I offer 'em, and some would even see me dead. So I do try, where at all possible, to avoid getting myself in a tangle with trouble. Are you suggesting you were just going to leave the man there? Heavens alive, no! I was always intending to report it, so I was. Well then what difference does it make when? Only, I had a mind to find out the whys and wherefores first. That's ridiculous. The whys and wherefores. Right you are. There were some details I wanted to understand before anyone else got to meddling. Sure. That wee scream I heard, for example. Wouldn't your good self do just the same? Yes. The scream he says he heard at the same time as the thud of the victim collapsing. Yeah, we are aware. Thank you, Renosuke, for reminding everyone. I'm afraid I don't understand. I'm sure you told the court that there was no one else in the carriage except yourself and the victim. I lied. So I did, sir, so I did. As far as I could see, that is. What do you mean by that? Well now, 'tis a queer thing. Excuse you, are you allowed to say that word? The wee scream I heard as he woke up. It came from, if you'll excuse the vulgar expression, under me backside. That's so good.
Good gracious!
Under your backside? And when I lifted the seat on which I'd been sitting, I found there was a wee cubby hole there for storage. Mr. Naruhodo, we can examine Mr. Naruhodo, we can examine the omnibus ourselves, remember? Yes, of course. The whole bus was submitted as evidence. Alright, let's have a look around. What is that? That's new. Also, that's not the color. Those aren't the same color. That looks like paint. That's blood, isn't it? Is something wrong? Oh, it's just, well, this bloodstain is so obvious, that's all. And yet Van Zeeks has made no mention of it. I suppose that does seem a little strange. Why do I have such a bad feeling about this? Okay, well, they're claiming she hid in here. Also, that's weird. I wonder if this bus has been tampered with. This seat has a handle, it seems. Where did all the stuff go? It's a storage compartment, but there's nothing in here. It's totally empty. Something doesn't seem right here, but I can't put my finger on what it is. It's been like an hour since you were in here, dude. That's all that changed. Okay, yeah. Yeah, so if you can't tell, it's been tampered with. That's not a spoiler. Considering that I've shown it to you. The first time I played this, I was really proud of myself because you don't have to inspect those things on the omnibus. You can genuinely just not see it. and you won't know. So this is really rewarding to people who do look at everything. And when I first play the games, I look at everything. I overanalyze things because it's fun. That's part of the fun. So we were really proud of ourselves. Me and my mom played these together. We were really proud of ourselves for seeing all of this. This would be a very good time to have a thorough look around inside. Susato, we just got done messing around in it. Also, where did it go? And that's when I found her. Hold it. You say she was hiding herself? Aye, that's right. 'Twas hard to see in the dim lamplight, but she was all curled up in a wee ball. When our eyes met, well, me heart nearly stopped beating in me chest. You're really overacting this. Yeah, he's being a little theatrical. Still and all, I pulled out from under there and sat her on the seat opposite so I could have a wee chin-wag with her. The seat opposite? That's right, just next to the dead gentleman there. He's so upfront about it. That's awful. Would an upstanding London gentleman make a young lady sit next to a dead person? Because I don't think so.
You set this young girl next to a corpse, sir? And she didn't get blood on her shoes?
Well, as I'm sure I mentioned, a gentleman in my position cannot find himself to be in mortal danger. All too often find himself in mortal danger, same thing. So, I needed to find out just who this urchin was, you see. And for some reason, there are no footprints in the blood on the floor. Just saying, there are no footprints in the blood on the floor of her shoes. Or his shoes. And while I was in the middle of talking with her, I heard another scream. A fella's voice this time. Presumably that scream was Mr. First, who was sitting on the roof deck seats. Right you are again, I would say, sir. Looking down through the skylight, he must have seen this young girl and a gentleman with a knife in his belly.
In other words, the previous witnesses did not, in fact, see you at all, Mr. McGuilded. What they believed to be yourself and the victim was in fact this girl and the late Mr. Mason.
Aye, me lord. I was, as I think everyone understands now, sat at the back of the carriage out of sight.
It is certainly plausible. The defendant is somewhat diminutive in stature,
Sure.
and readily confused, perhaps, with this young girl.
Damn. After that, of course. With a scream from the gentleman over us, the driver realized something was wrong and pulled up the horses.
Thank you, I've had enough.
I agree, Judge.
The events as explained are clear in my mind. However, at least one conundrum remains. Who is the girl?
Her name is Gina Lestrade, me lord. It's really good. Lestrade is, if anyone doesn't know, because I didn't. I haven't indulged in the actual source material. I haven't indulged in any Sherlock Holmes material, actually, until this. So I didn't know that Lestrade was a detective in the other games. And of course he was a guy, because, you know, that's just how it was when those were written especially. So it's a very good, it's a very awesome switch to have for Lestrade to be a 17-year-old girl. Sorry, 15-year-old girl. Also, it is G. Lestrade as well. So, it's cute. Okay, I'm done. But, yeah. She's a chancer. Earns her crust among large clouds, revealing people at their purses. What's commonly called a pickpocket. What?
This girl here, a petty thief. Order! Order! Is this true, Miss Lestrade? Miss Lestrade, you will answer the question. How dare you? What is the meaning of this? The girl, she's gone.
Open your eyes! Why did she do that? I'm over here! I love her theme song.
Good gracious, how?
What was the point in that little sidestep, right? I know what you lot are thinking. Grown-ups are all the same. This dirty little dipper, you say, slipped up and got caught on the job. She got herself backed into a corner, so she knifed the gent. Go on, that's what's in your heads, ain't it? No, not at all. This is a court of law. We're here to determine the truth, not cast... Ah! He's not even... He's just disappointed. Look, knives are for cowards. Only thugs use weapons like that. All I need for what I do is these fingers. I'm professional, right? Maybe not in your eyes, but I got pride in what I do. Okay. You have pride in stealing. Good for you. Let me guess. You don't count smoke guns among weapons for thugs? Well, they don't hurt anybody. Oh, this? Yes, it's in a bag I lifted the other day, down where they keep the four-wheeled drags. I hope I'm doing her accent good. It's nice, isn't it? I like pink best. Aww, that's so cute.
Do not wave that thing in my direction again.
Oh, he's gotta have a drink. Why did they not confiscate that from her? Sir, you admit that you are riding the omnibus on the night in question. Oh. "'Tis all right, lass. You can tell him the truth now." Alright, yeah. Just like the Irishman said.
This court accepts the girl, Miss Gina Lestrade, as evidence, as a valid and significant witness in this case. Accordingly, young lady, we will now hear your testimony, if you please.
Yeah, I love doing her voice.
You will tell the court exactly what happened in the omnibus on the night in question.
She's one of my favorite voices to do. Right, if I have to. What the girl saw. So I snuck inside the carriage before they hooked up the horses, just like always. Like always? It was right, a waste of time. I got nothing to show for me troubles that night. I tell you, you can't see a blind thing in that hiding place. It's pitch in there. And after a while, I hear this loud bang. Nearly jumped out my skin, I did, and the scream just came out. It's because of that, this swerve found me. Did help me get away, mind. Yes, he'd let you go.
I fail to understand why you would let this street urchin go, Mr. McGuilded.
Oh my gosh. Oh, 'tis simplicity itself, me lord. You see, she couldn't possibly have killed the other passenger. I knew that for a fact. And that's why I let her escape instead of just telling the police that she was under you. How? As I'm sure I said before, sir. I was sitting right on top of the place where she was hiding herself.
I think a demonstration is called for.
Really? This is where I was sat that night. Oh my gosh, okay.
And the cubbyhole of which you have spoken is underneath this seat, I presume.
Yep, right there.
Yes. Does appear just large enough to accommodate someone of the girl's stature.
Not if she curled up in a ball. She could have fit in there with all that other stuff if she curled up real tight. I believe she's only a little bit taller than me. So, like, I could fit in there. Okay. Aye, but of course the wee lad was stuck in there. Because I'd parked myself on the seat for the duration.
Ah.
So you see, that's why I let the lass bolt. I knew that if the police found her there, they'd automatically assume she'd done it, for some reason. But I couldn't live with myself if a young life was ruined when all the time I knew she was innocent.
Even though you must have realized your action would result in your own innocence being called into question.
It's pretty nice. That's pretty nice. Not at all, me lord, not at all. Alright, that's helping the jury. I knew in me own heart that I was innocent. So I thought it was worth taking a punt on me own good name for the sake of this less fortunate lass. My goodness. What a perfect gentleman.
My lord, this fine example of a man cannot possibly be guilty of a heinous crime like this. Yay! I'm ashamed of myself for ever doubting you, sir. We did it! Hooray! I wonder if the case is over yet, or if it's gonna make us sit through a bunch of bullshit.
With calm, calculated reasoning, one arrives clearly at the truth every time.
Yay! Ben Zeeks is gonna object immediately. You know it's gonna happen. Saints alive! All 6 members of the jury consensual in their leaning to a verdict of not guilty. He's gonna throw the glass.
Mr. Naruhodo, this, well, it must mean what? That we're victorious!
We've won? Are you sure? Yeah, here it is. Oh! Yeah! If the sight of my iron-heeled Wellington offends, pray, do forgive the discourtesy. Oh, it's incredible. Okay. Here's one of my ridiculous headcanons. Are you ready for this? You're not, I promise. During the 5 years that he was absent from the courtroom, he was touring as in a ballet company. I swear, I believe it. He's so flexible. He did ballet. He did ballet. I believe that 100%. He's a ballerina. And we love that for him. Good for him, you know? It's so funny. It's so ridiculous. I'm upset, though, that they don't have an animation of him chugging the wine bottle. Because that would be hilarious. He just tilts it back. He don't even have the patience for the wine glasses anymore. They're not doing enough for him. It's really good. Even Gina. I really hope at least one time he's gotten a cramp and he's gotten stuck there. The bailiffs are having to pull him off. This really is a consummate example of the one monumental flaw in British judicial practices. Hey, Ben Zeeks, we're not here to talk about British law. We're here to practice it. Like, go to Congress or whatever the equivalent of Congress is. You know, like, you can't change law during court. You can set precedents, but you can't, you know, you just can't. Where evidence and reasoning should be paramount, emotion rules the day.
Emotion? What's that?
Oh, wait. Okay, that was fast. The witness's latest statement gives us a clear insight into his true nature.
What do you mean his true nature? Wasn't it a good thing that he did that?
Do you really think Scotland Yard would have made such a glaring omission? After the incident, the omnibus was comprehensively searched by officers of the police. Obviously, the interior of this cubbyhole, as the witness put it, was included in their investigation. See? He's good. He's sharp. The compartment under the posterior seat was full of the coachman's belongings. It's noted in black and white here in the police report. Good Lord! The evidence has been tampered with. Good job. In order to corroborate Mr. McGuilded's story, someone has unlawfully removed everything from under the seat. What? Order! Order! How could such a devious contrivance possibly have been effected, counsel? Do you remember the smoke grenade that was literally just launched in here 20 minutes ago? Naturally, we must acknowledge the deficiencies of the constabulary in allowing this to have happened. However, I assure you, when the omnibus was wheeled into the courtroom this morning, the compartment under the seat was not empty. You're right. Well, my Nipponese friend. Me? When the carriage was submitted as evidence, doubtless you examined it in fine detail, as would any self-respecting practitioner of the law. Pray, what did you find the condition of the underseat compartment to be?
Oh, to be sure, the young gentleman would be able to clear this up in a jiffy. Sorry? Go ahead. You tell the court now, fella. How this is all an elaborate excuse by the desperate Lord Van Zeeks. Uh-oh. That's not good. That ain't good at all.
Well, counsel, you have something to say on this matter.
How am I supposed to answer? What can I say about the state of that little compartment under the seat in the omnibus? I didn't look. Okay, it's funny they actually let you make the decision here. Here's the thing. As advocate for the defendant, you shouldn't lie, but you shouldn't be asked this question at all. If anything, you would call the police in, right? And you would be like, hey, was it full? And they'd be like, yep, it was full. And then you'd be like, all right, thanks, bye. And they'd be like, bye. If it was in real life. But forensics would get in trouble for not taking pictures properly, in modern time at least. I refuse to lie. I didn't lie the first time I played it. It was not empty. It was full. I really don't know if giving this answer is helping my case as helping my cause as counsel for the defense. As far as I remember, at least. When I first examined the compartment, I'm fairly certain there were a number of articles inside it, yes.
Are you sure, counsel?
Ah, bewist! I don't know what that means. What are you saying now, you daft doll? I thought you were on my side here! Uh-oh. What game are you playing? Your task is to defend the man in the stand. Why would you say something to compromise his position? You asked. I would be committing perjury if I lied. I don't know if they actually would or not. I don't know how that works. As the advocate for the defense in this trial, I confess I'm still not entirely sure where I stand. But it seems to me that I should state what facts I do know as clearly and honestly as possible. Interesting. We're gaining some respect with the Zeeks. 'Tis not altogether pleasing, fella. I'm simply telling the truth, Mr. McGuilded. Well, don't forget that you're supposed to be representing me best interest here, lad. Yeah, that's the thing. Now, Tin. A fella's memory is a curious thing and not altogether reliable. No, the court must consider the facts. Like, that was written seconds after they checked it. That's not a problem with memory, you know? Like, if they had come in today and they asked, hey, was it empty? They went, I don't think so. That doesn't count because that is a memory thing. But it was seconds after. Come on, man. I'm mad. I'm livid. Sorry. That a cubbyhole under the seat is as empty as the devil's heart, so it is. Do you think perhaps it would be in your best interest now to admit that you might have been mistaken? Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Okay. Why? Why do I feel like something's not right here? Because it's been tampered with, and it seems like he did the tampering.
I should like the jury to weigh in on this matter, I think.
Okay, what does the drunk have to say about it? The compartment's designed as equipment used to maintain the smooth running of the carriage. The guild rules state that omnibuses should be properly equipped at all times. So it certainly wouldn't have been empty on the night in question. Beppo isn't that irresponsible. That money-lending fleecer and the pick-purse lion. No, she could have fit in there, because it wasn't completely full. Like, she still could have fit. There was enough room if you curled up real tight. Ah! I can't believe I was nearly taken in. The stinking rich are always stinkers. Nothing but cowards, the lot of them. You know, based. What? Oh no. It's a trick! Of course it's a trick. See, like, I can't fault them for this, you know? I can't fault them. Because I'm sus now, too. Quite so. I must concur here. With calm, calculated reasoning, one arrives clearly at the truth every time. That's why I've changed my verdict 4 times now. Yes, but every time a different truth, it seems. There you go. He's making a joke for me. Oh, shut up. Now your attitude is what's getting on my nerves. My lord, I humbly exhibit the scales of justice. Clearly, a verdict of not guilty at this time would be wholly inappropriate.
Thank you, counsel.
Do we have to do another summon examination?
But before we proceed any further, there is the matter of the outstanding cross-examination.
True.
Counsel for the defense, begin your questioning of the witness, please.
Yes, my lord. What just happened? The whole balance of the trial just shifted almost beyond recognition. The Reaper of the Bailey is at work, it would seem. He's really not. He didn't do anything. All he did was go, hey, that was tampered with, and they went, you're right, it was, and then they said he was guilty. And McGuilded didn't do you any favors by stomping his foot and going, lie for me, you know? So, you were already in the omnibus before it even set off on its run? Well, yeah. I mean, what's the point of spending a J to make a few bob, eh? It's a rum idea, innit? I suppose she means there's no point spending money to make money. It actually makes sense. Capitalism's a scam.
Counsel, may I remind you that this girl is a petty thief? Kindly refrain from entertaining her tenants.
Well, that does clear up the little mystery of affairs and all. That's true. We were paying passengers at 5p apiece, making to 20, to which the cabman testified. And one little scapegrace, riding for free. Red Conqueror driver always goes for some grub before his last run, see? So that's when I slip into the carriage and get myself hidden under the seat. Nice and easy, right? But your hiding place is a storage compartment. What if the driver has to stop to give the horses some carrots? What happens then? Full of equipment for the coach. No. What does she have to say to that? Nothing? Okay. Oh. Yeah, there's brushes and buckets and whatnot in there, sure. I just chuck all that out and cram it in a corner somewhere. No, it never seems to bother much. A corner? Is there a corner in there that could fit in? And yet, according to the report filed by the police officer who first arrived at the scene, the compartment was full of such paraphernalia. Well, I don't know nothing about that. Like I said, I moved all that stuff out so I could hide under the seat. That's all I can tell you.
It seems we've reached the end of that line of inquiry. Continue.
Right, waste of time, got nothing to show. A waste of time? Why is that? Well, most nights I'm on my own in the God permit, okay, at least some of the time.
I beg your pardon. Did you say God permit?
Oh, yeah, well, that's what my kind call it. You'd say the omnibus, I suppose. Point is, any normal run, the carriage ain't got no one in it for quite a while. For a while, same thing. And that's when you come out of your hiding place and get away. That's it. Only that night. This cove was sat on me seat from the start. He didn't budge or away, did he? Not 1 inch, I was totally stuck.
You mean to tell us that you were present in the carriage for the duration? You were under the seat the entire time while events unfolded in the enclosed cabin?
Yeah? Right, mister? Why are you... Okay, weird. To be sure. I was as shocked as anyone. You don't expect to lift a cushion you've been sat on and find a child now, do you? So this Miss Lestrade couldn't possibly be the culprit, then. So you couldn't see out into the cabin at all? Not a jot. Most days I push the cabin up with me head and look out the crack. Then I can have butchers who I'm gonna fiddle. I thought you were a pickpocket, not a butcher. Oh my gosh. Okay. I mean, I can have a look. The seat I get under ain't as plush as the other ones, see? Oh, but it's more comfortable, apparently. So most of the time, passengers plan themselves opposite. For some reason that night, this here Irishman spent the whole journey right over me head. And for that reason, you weren't able to push the cushion up to peek out. I see. Truth is, I ain't too happy in small dark places. Feels too much like being thrown in the clink. It's the only place to hide in them carriages, so it's Hobson's choice, okay? Why doesn't she just stick to picking people's pockets in the open then? I'd say there's some reason that she's not letting on, judging from her demeanor. So anyways, I was a bit scared, but I just had to stick it out under there. Nothing else for it. Loud bang. That sounds more like a gunshot. When you say a loud bang, do you mean the noise of someone falling to the floor? I would give that more of a thud than a bang, but... Could have been, I suppose. I don't remember so well. Point is, it made me jump. And you let out a scream involuntarily, like a little baby. That's right. And then I felt the cushion over me head get lighter all of a sudden. Presumably when the defendant got up in order to help the victim, yes. Or not. It could equally have been the moment the accused stood in order to stab his victim, could it not? After the bang? No, that doesn't make sense.
Well, girl, did you see what happened at that crucial moment?
No. Yeah, I saw it. Pushed up the cushion and had a quick butcher's while I had a chance, didn't I? Irishman was sitting up the bloke that had fallen on the floor in the seat opposite. That matches Mr. McGuilded's account, of course. But she was up here the whole time he was saying that, so... Then the fella suddenly turns around and looks right at me. Sunk back down again, but it was too late by then. I should have never risked looking. And when Mr. McGuilded discovered you, he pulled you out from your hiding place. Scared stiff I was. Dragged me out and sat me down on the seat and all. Next to the victim, Mr. Mason. Yeah, bloke had a knife in his guts. He was still bleeding. The carriage lurched a bit and he ended up falling onto me. Oh, awful. Yeah, my hands got covered in blood. It made me feel sick as a dog. Both her hands covered in blood. That must be what the rooftop passengers saw. After that, I believe you talked with Mr. McGuilded for a while. Is that correct? He asked me some stuff. Wanted to know my name and what I was up to and all that. Then I heard something from up above. Someone screamed.
Yes, Mr. First on the roof deck, one would presume.
Well, I didn't want no one seeing me face, so I didn't look up. Then the horses were drawn up smartish, and this here Irishman says to me, "Get back under the seat. I'll see that you get away later." All 6 members of the jury have decided the defendant was innocent. Had decided the defendant was innocent. For one brief shining moment, yes. It's clear that they are all still very unsure. If we could just find some conclusive piece of evidence among this new testimony, I'm sure we would clinch the verdict that we want. Yes, I think you're right, and I have this nagging feeling. Something's bothering me, but I just can't quite put my finger on it. Alright. What? What are we supposed to present here? Oh, that's stupid. That's stupid. We have to press the 5th statement, and then we have to go back and press the 3rd statement. Of course. How could I not have known? That's dumb. That's dumb. So you couldn't see out into the cabin at all? Not a jot. Most days I push the cabin up with me head and have and look out the crack. Then I have a butcher's who I'm gonna fiddle. Yeah, I thought you were a pickpocket, not a butcher. I mean, I can have a look. The seat under it ain't as plush. Most of the time, passengers plan himself opposite. For some reason that night, this here Irishman spent the whole journey over me head, and for that reason, you couldn't push out the cabin. I see. Truth is, I ain't too happy in small dark places. It's too much like being thrown in the clink. Well, now, that's such an awful sound. Well, now. Alright, well, I don't know why he thinks it's amusing that she's scared of being thrown in the clink, but...
Excuse me.
Is something wrong, Mr. McGuilded? Oh, I do apologize. Was there something the matter, Counsel? I'm just wondering if Mr. Strahd's last comment made something occur to you, perhaps? You seem to be thinking something to yourself. Oh, no, it was nothing important. I was feeling bad for the poor lass is all, and when I feel bad for someone I laugh. I remember feeling desperate myself as a young lad shut up in the dark. 'Twas terrifying, so it was. I see. Yes, I'm sure we can all sympathize. I'm still scared of the dark now. Aw. Oh, the wardrobe must have been miserable then. Poor little guy. Maybe he had a nightlight in there. Yeah, he had a nightlight in there. I don't know about yourself, but I find that the darkness seems to make everything you hear seem that much louder as well. Okay, he's trying to hint to her something. It's so obvious. Yeah. I suppose it does, maybe. Miss Lestrade, did you hear something that night? Anything? An unusual noise, perhaps? Nah, not really. All I could hear is the Irishman snoring. Get him! But jabbers, there's no need to tell the whole world of me foibles, you little scamp. Gosh. What a pity. If only Miss Lestrade had heard something, it might have given us a vital new clue. Yes. What should we make of that last statement of hers? Oh, okay. So the reason this is important is because he was the only one on there, but yet the victim ended up there somehow. So why didn't she hear the victim get in? Because you should have been able to hear footsteps. My lord, I believe the statement just made by the witness is profoundly important.
Profoundly important? But all she said was that she heard nothing.
Yes, which is the profoundly important point. I'm almost sure of it. No, just say that you are sure of it.
I'm almost sure that I don't understand the inner workings of
Your Eastern mind, Counsel. You could literally just ask me what I'm thinking and I'll tell you, asshole.
Nevertheless,
I'm putting Santa on the naughty list.
Miss Gina Lestrade, you will supplement your formal testimony by repeating that last statement, please.
What? Supplement? What are you on about? Oh. Don't give me all your fancy talk. I know what you're trying to do, and it won't work on me. That's right, insult the judge. Always a good move. Yeah. Well, I mean, you didn't complain when Ben Zeeks was insulting the jury. Wait. Yeah, I'm probably supposed to just press this. So you were straining to hear what was happening the entire time since the moment you hid yourself? Not exactly, no. Sorry. Well, there was no one in the cabin to start with. I could just push the cushion up and have a butcher's to see what was what. But then, when I saw this swell gent get on, I got my head down so he didn't notice me. And Mr. McGuilded sat on the seat under which you were hiding, correct? Yeah? Would you Adam and Eve it, eh? What a mug! What? So then all I could do is listen. I was waiting to jump out of there as soon as I had him leave, see? But would he? Not likely. Even though he stopped in there, never heard the door open. Ah, there it is. So I just had to stay put and listen to him driving his pigs to the market, snoring like an old dog he was. Get him! Get him! This is deserved. Oh, it's so good. Are there any conclusions we can draw from that, I wonder? It doesn't add up. Miss Lestrade, what you have just told the court is clearly at odds with the facts. Ah!
At odds? Are you sure, man?
I can explain it. Absolutely. It seems my learned Nipponese friend is not as dull-witted as I feared. See? He's smart. He's big brain. So Van Zeeks realized it too. Seems like my learned British friend is not as dim-witted as I feared. Got him.
Counsel, I must insist that you bolster your claim with evidence, or some complicit party's name at the very least.
Complicit in her not hearing something? Yes, my lord.
I expect you to demonstrate this alleged contradiction to the court.
According to Miss Lestrade, while she was hiding in the omnibus that night, she heard nothing but the sound of Mr. McGuilded snoring. But think, Ryunosuke, think! He had to be snoring so loud. There's something else she should have heard. Show a person. Very well, my lord. Allow me to elaborate. On a particular sound that Miss Lestrade could not have failed to hear on the night in question. Sound very clearly explained by the presence of the following person, the victim.
Thrice fired Mason.
Yes, my lord. The sound that Miss Lestrade cannot have failed to hear is that of the victim, Mr. Mason, boarding the omnibus.
Order! Order! Explain your reasoning, counsel.
Miss Lestrade, allow me to confirm something. You claimed earlier that you were the first person on board the omnibus. Is that correct? Yeah, of course I was. Got on while the driver was in the pub, didn't I? And the next person to board the omnibus was Mr. McGuilded? That it was. Not a soul was in the cabin when I climbed aboard. At least, not in plain sight. So you were, to all intents and purposes, alone in the enclosed cabin of the omnibus at the time. Did I not just say as much? I wasn't travelling with anyone else, if that's what you mean. Yeah, I saw him get on, remember? Through the crack under the seat cushion. He was on his own for sure. And from what we've heard, the carriage made a number of stops after that on its onward journey. During which time, did you not hear the door opening or closing at all? No, I never heard it. That's exactly what I was listening for, weren't it? Waiting for this swell to leave. In which case, when and how did the victim end up in the carriage? We know that the victim collapsed inside the enclosed cabin of the omnibus. Therefore, Miss Lestrade's statement about what she did or did not hear is at odds with the facts. Ah! Yes, this petty thief's statement was clearly flawed.
Lord Van Zeeks.
Yes, he knew. He knew all too well that there was an inconsistency in Miss Lestrade's statement. It would seem words of thanks are in order for my learned friend. What are you talking about? You have demonstrated matters impeccably. This witness and her colorful statements are entirely unreliable. Her words are convenient untruths, nothing more. He's dead. He's dead right. How could the victim possibly not have boarded the omnibus? That makes no sense whatsoever. And this girl's a pickpocket, let's not forget that. Uh-oh. No, Granny! Granny, no! She didn't even say anything. Oh, Granny, no. Ah! She didn't even say anything. That's what I'm saying, Bruno. I didn't want to judge the dear little mite just because she has some rather naughty ways. How precious is this old woman? I mean, she called Lord Van Zeeks dear. She called him dear. Like, she is such a sweetheart. But I must say, I can't abide liars. Well, if she is, though, like, he's rich. He's rolling in money, and he's rolling in power. There's a reason. Like, she's not doing it because she wants to, most likely.
And neither can I.
Mr. Foreman.
I didn't want to judge this girl just because she has some less than salubrious ways, but I must say, I cannot abide liars.
Oh, no. No! Ah! Mr. Naruto, that's 5 jury members leaning towards guilty. I noticed.
Well, your consideration for others is
refreshing, my Nipponese friend. To the considerable troubles you have spared me. And then he crushes it. See, watch this. No liquid went into his mouth. Nothing. He put it to his lips. It might have touched his lips. That's it. It did not go down. Yes. Very refreshing. Okay, here's another headcanon I have for him. He is a extreme lightweight. Like, he gets drunk. On that, he would not be standing here currently. He's blackout drunk on 1 glass of wine. And that's not even a full glass. Like, that's my headcanon. That's why he never drinks it. He has it so he looks sophisticated and cool, but he can't drink it. He'll die. That's my game theory. Just because I like to make big characters pathetic, it makes me feel happy. It makes me happy. Okay, that's all. That's all. Ah! Okay, that wasn't a good take of that scream, but it's okay.
Grr! What are you playing at? Have you forgotten who you're working for, you useless Eastern Amandan?
My gosh. No, not again. This is carnage. It's perfect. Please take that knife away from him. Juror number 2 is the only one left.
Mr. Naruhodo, the way this is going...
I know. If we can't find some new way to convince everyone of Mr. McGuilded's innocence, the judge will rule and we'll have lost.
I very much want to believe the words of one of London's most respected gentlemen, but...
Well,
those of us in service know we must accept hard truths.
Yep. Oh, no, we're objecting. Even she's surprised. He's desperate. Yes, the witness's last statement seems to have revealed a critical inconsistency in her story. However, if we consider the possibility that her statement is in fact the truth, it may shed an entirely new light on this whole case. What are you saying?
Counsel!
I'm sorry, sir. Whatever do you mean?
Counsel, I will not tolerate you attempting to prorogue my adjudication. Explain yourself at once.
When the accused boarded the omnibus on the night in question, the victim was nowhere to be seen. Subsequently, the carriage door was not heard opening a single time, as testified by the witness in the stand. The question is, though, can that skylight open? That's the question. Because that could have been the thud. Because I wouldn't think that falling to the floor from a seating position would make that big of a thud. Enough to cause you to scream. You might just be like, oh, what was that? But it wouldn't be that loud, you know?
And yet the victim's body was found inside the carriage.
Riddle me that, if this petty thief's words are to be believed. How do you explain the victim's miraculous appearance inside the cabin of the omnibus? Oh no. There's only one way to explain how the victim came to be inside the carriage. Magic! If the door wasn't opened even once, the only explanation is that the victim entered the enclosed cabin some other way. I wondered what new fantasy you would come up with in your blind panic. But behold, the omnibus is here for all to see. Only one side of the enclosed cabin is furnished with a door, the other only has windows. Fixed windows which cannot possibly open. In short, there's no entrance to the cabin other than the door. But there could be. There's one possibility you haven't considered. Oh, really? Yes. One other way inside that isn't the door. Another opening, the use of which allowed the victim to appear inside the closed cabin.
All right, counsel. The defense will identify the location for the court. Here is the omnibus on which the incident occurred.
It's literally right here. We could point at it, but no, we have to point at the diagram.
Where on earth is this entrance by which you propose the victim entered the cabin?
Right there. The answer's obvious. It can only have been the skylight.
I say, the skylight?
Yep. Bruno's based. Your ludicrous proposal almost has me lost for words. However, oh, we're cutting him off. We're cutting him off. You go, Ryunosuke. The skylight may well be large enough for someone to pass through. So you claim. But do you have a shred of evidence to support your addle-brained theory? Both Mr. McGuilded and Miss Lestrade, both Mr. McGuilded and Miss Lestrade said the same in their testimonies. They each claimed to have heard a loud thud, such as the noise made by someone falling to the floor.
Yes, which has already been explained, as the sound of the victim falling from his seat having been assaulted with the dagger.
Yes, it has, but would a man slipping from the seat onto the floor really have made such a loud noise as the witnesses describe? There you go. A noise loud enough to cause Miss Lestrade to let out an involuntary cry, in fact.
Good gracious!
Perhaps, in fact, that was the moment that the victim made his entrance into the cabin. No, let me rephrase that. The victim didn't enter the cabin as such. He fell into it. You're now suggesting that the victim fell from the skylight into the cabin? That's simply impossible. How can you be so sure? Because if the victim had fallen inside through the skylight, as you say, the passengers on the roof deck would have seen it happen. What if they're lying? And yet, not one person made mention of such events in their testimony. Well, yes, that's true, but... Oh. Why are you bowing? What a humble fella. Make a wee comment here. Mr. McGuilded? To be sure now, the two fellows who were sat on the roof that testified afore said nothing of the victim falling through the skylight. But it seems to me, me lord, that 'tis not so much a case of them not saying, but them lying. Aye. 'Tis a case of them being unable to say. What? Yeah, what? I think perhaps the two fellas do be having something of a compelling reason not to mention what happened. Would you not agree, fine ladies and gentlemen of the jury? Oh my goodness, surely not. I can't remember her voice. Those two chaps on the roof. Oh my gosh, she is going. She is typing 300 words per minute right now. I type 85 to 100. She is going. She's not even close to where I am. She is miles ahead of me. You mean the one who stuck the knife in the man were... Oh! I can't remember how to do her voice either. Currently. Oh. Hi. Just what exactly are you insinuating here, you blitherer? What is he doing? What the hell is he doing? There's even galloping sound effects! That's brilliant. That's brilliant. Oh, that's glorious. You rot, he said, you rot. What are you insinuating? And then he's back to... Oh my god. This is a flaming outrage. I have a good mind to give you a blinker in a minute. He'd give you a shine in a minute, he said, and so will I. Thank you for translating. Mr. Fairplay. Fairplay is the one that I'm the least concerned about right now. It's ladies first that I'm worried about. You're effectively accusing me, a city gentleman and well-respected banker. And me, the very angry hatter. Oh, he's a very angry hatter. That's brilliant. Oh, it's glorious. He's a very angry hatter. Suggesting that someone like me could have stabbed that man in the guts. It's a disgrace. It's scandalous. It's... I protest. I protest in the strongest possible terms. That's right. I protest too. About you, you rotten scoundrel. Get him. And then he's still. That's what you call a continuity error in film.
Order! 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 This is not the time, witnesses! I will not permit this wanton invasion of the stand. Return to the anteroom at once.
They weren't even in the room? But this is beyond reason, my lord. It's outrageous. It's very hurtful, you know. My lord, if I may comment.
Go ahead, Lord Van Zeeks.
It was the defense that incited this outburst from the witnesses. And my learned friend has seen fit to abandon all protocol and accuse the witnesses without proof. Well, you can't accuse witnesses is the thing, though. Accuse? I never intended to. It seems, young Nipponese, that your command of the English tongue is wanting. It's really not. He's a really fluent speaker. Also, he says young. He's 32. I thought he was 33. He is 32 years old. He looks 50. Just saying. He looks 50. He is 32. Sholmes is older than him, actually. By like a year or two. It's ridiculous. He does not look like he should be younger than Sholmes, right? He does not look it. You proposed to this court that the victim fell through the skylight from the roof deck of the omnibus. That hypothesis cannot possibly stand without the rooftop passengers being aware of the events. You have branded these gentlemen liars. You have intimated their criminal guilt. In our British court of law, that is what is termed a baseless accusation. No, it's a baseless implication, not, like, I didn't say it, I implied it. I know I was rash to put this idea forward without any actual evidence, but you can't just dismiss it without a second thought. Yeah, you can, apparently. He's Lord Van Zeeks. He does what he wants.
What are we wasting time for? Get them to...
Sorry, that's fun. I thought there was something fishy about that hat from the moment I laid eyes on the fellow. What? We have to see this matter through now, one way or another.
If there's filth and rubbish in our midst, we must dispose of it at once.
Oh.
What's happening, Mr. Naruhodo?
Spectators in the public gallery are in a complete frenzy. Wow, that's cool.
Mr. Fairplay and Mr. First.
My lord, they are so scared. Aw.
You will take the stand again and make another formal testimony in reference to the indictment brought by the defense.
Yes, my lord.
I didn't come here for this.
He's just laughing. He's insane. There's no time to think this through. All I can do is keep pushing forward. Is keeping push forward? Wait, is that what he said? Hold on. Was that a typo? Garbage game. All I can do is keeping pushing forward. Typo. Garbage game. Unplayable. Okay, there's a funny that we can do here. So, we're gonna do the funny. Okay, oh wait, no, I forgot that we have to read it first. Okay, whoops. We were the only two people on that roof deck, dead or alive, I can swear to that.
If anything had happened when we were sitting, don't you think one of us would have noticed?
I completely butchered that line, but that's okay. In any case, neither of us know the first thing about the victim. We had no reason to kill the man.
The skylight was shut the entire time, I tell you. We couldn't possibly have opened it.
I gotta get his voice, now that he does that. If you're so sure the victim fell through the skylight, where's your proof? The proof is in the pudding?
I must say that on listening to this testimony, it is somewhat hard to imagine how either witness could have performed any malevolent act on this open rooftop deck without the other noticing forthwith.
They could be threatening one another. That's right, you see.
We're innocent, I tell you. Although logically, of course, the argument falls down if the two of you were in collusion with one another.
Thank you, juror number 4. What? According to investigations by Scotland Yard.
The two witnesses share no common dealings. Ha! Well, I don't trust coppers any more than I trust the stinking rich! He said it. He said it. He said it. Ladies and gents, he said it. He's so based. Something doesn't feel right here. The trial is going in our favor, really. So why do I feel so uneasy?
Counsel for the defense, over to you. Your cross-examination, please.
Oh, yes, my lord.
Your cross-ination, please.
So there's something funny we can do if we press this one, I believe. Yes. So you had never met Mr. Thrice-Fired Mason before?
Oh, Lumi, no, not once, never.
He'd never met the mayor before, he said. Never. And you, Mr. First, had no prior dealings with the victim either. That's right, sir. Hatters don't have much to do with bank brickmakers, to be perfectly honest, sir. The hat looks pretty, messed up. Just like his hat.
No, I imagine not.
You see, how many different ways can I put this? Neither of us had even the remotest connection to the gentlemen who were inside the cabin. Alright, we'll pursue McGuilded. Mr. McGuilded. Yes, counsel. What can I be doing you for? Did the witness's last statement give you pause for some thought somehow? Not the remotest connection? Is that right now, I wonder? Oh, they're playing the goofy music. What are you insinuating now? Ah, Mr. Fairplay. 'Tis been too long, so it has. Hey! If I'm not very much mistaken, I believe 'tis fast approaching, is it not? Your repayment date.
I beg your pardon?
You borrowed 20 guineas from me, sir.
At an unconscionable rate of interest, you tricked me! It's extortion!
Well, now, is that a touch of begrudgery, is it? That sort of begrudgery that might motivate a fellow to pass his crimes off to another. Nom 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 nom. And young Mr. First. Me, sir? What do you want with me, sir? Oh, he's so scared. You do be making hats for a living, do you not? That there top hat is sliding about on your head. Is that one of your own creations, is it? Oh, well, I'm still just an apprentice, you understand. I'm learning to find the perfect fit for whatever fine gent walks through the door. It's gotta be pretty easy to measure a head, you would think. The perfect fit, is it? Well, it is a very distinctive design, so it is. Many customers like it, I tell you. They like a distinctive touch. Customers such as Thrice-Fired Mason. Ah! There was a photographic print of the victim submitted as evidence of harm, me lord. Just the one that I looked at.
This you mean.
That does look like his hat. I can't help thinking that the poor fellow's hat looks distinctly familiar, wouldn't you say? Oh! That's one of my hats. Aye, that it is. So it would seem the brickmaker was a customer of yours. The sort of customer, I'd wager, you could have had a wee quarrel with over the distinctiveness of the goods. That's why he's still wearing it? Oh, no, sir. Absolutely not, sir. Well, there's really nothing more to add. It wouldn't be right to say that the two fellas here haven't the remotest connection to the victim, you see. You're grasping, dude. You are clearly grasping. I rest me case.
You little weasel!
No. He's better at this than I am. Gosh, Mr. McGuilded has certainly been thorough in his research, hasn't he, while he was in jail? Please, don't let me little interruption hold up the proceedings. Okay. Are you quite certain about that? The skylight was shut the entire time.
I'm going to lose my plot with you in a minute.
He's going to lose his rag with you in a minute, that's what he said. Why is he a translator? Take a look for yourself. Go on. But that doesn't... Just because it's closed now doesn't mean that it was. I swear. You see, it's shut fast now, just like it was on the night. So it is, of course. A fella the size of Mr. Mason could likely break through it and all. Break through it still and all. Hey, what? Do you think they really would have replaced the glass? And wouldn't there have been glass in his body? Like, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. What? Just looking at the size of the thing, you understand. Now hold on a minute, sir. The size of the thing means nothing. Not on its own. Let's consider the bigger picture here, shall we? Let's stop biting our cane, shall we? For real. I was riding the omnibus on another occasion when, well, I broke wind. Loudly. I shocked myself with it as it happens. That's so funny. That's so funny. Thank you for telling us, Mr. First. That was very important information.
This is an unexpected confession, Mr. First. To the gallows with you.
Oh, I just meant to say, well, the point is, I tried to open the skylight, you see. But just my luck, I couldn't make it budge. The stench was terrible. Everyone was looking daggers at me, sir. I went red as a rogue, I did.
Poor guy. Oh, that's tragic.
Are you expecting me to sentence you?
Do you not understand what he's trying to say?
Oh, no, sir. Please don't send me to the gallows. Please don't put me on the naughty list, Santa. The point is, the skylight can't be opened. I tried when I was inside the cabin of shame.
Okay.
Excuse me. Do you have something to say about that, Miss Lestrade? Miss Lestrade? It opens. Skylight. That's what we're talking about, right? I wasn't half paying attention. Okay. Yeah. All them skylights open dead easy. More easily than you can load that weapon. It's a lie, I tell you. Otherwise, when I broke wind, you can't do it from inside, you mug. Oh, why would they do that? Isn't that a hazard? Whatever. Look, a few weeks ago, I was up on the roof deck of one of them drags. And I had a great awe. I mean, I had purses coming out me ears.
Miss Lestrade, this is not the forum to be eulogizing on the subject of your criminal activities.
Well, anyway, I had a bit of a scare. When I lifted the last bloke's purse, he got wise to me. All four of them surrounded me, so I couldn't hop off the bus and leg it. So what I did was use the skylight, open the catch and jump right through. What? That's so awesome. Yeah, the catch for them skylights is on the top side. That's why you can't open them from the cabin. Skylight opens from the roof deck.
Bailiff! Climb up on the roof of the omnibus at once and verify the witness's claims.
There is a catch. You can see it now. Yep. It opens.
Ah!
Oh, my hat.
See?
Order, order, order! So it appears that this street girl's statement is quite true.
Don't believe it. The skylight opens. And from the roof deck. Mr. Naruhodo, this could be the clue we've been looking for.
Well, counsel for the defense, please continue with your cross-examination.
I'm just gonna, no reason. I'm just gonna have a look-see up here. So the skylight was fastened shut before, but now the catch has been undone. We should be able to open it. Let's take a gander. Oh. Hold on, do we need to go inside to look at it? We probably do. Did the door just close behind me? That's creepy. Huh, what's that? How peculiar. Yes, it does open very wide, doesn't it? Are you red colorblind? Wide enough to kick someone like you through, certainly, Mr. Naruhodo. Why someone like me? Ah! What is it? Look, just here. Look at this. It's ketchup.
That's without question. Really, really light red blood. It's blood! Why would there be a blood stain there? Surely, it can't be unrelated to the case, can it? No! Especially if what we're claiming is true. Which, if so, that makes McGuilded look really weird, right? If they actually did it. Like, why'd he go through all of that crap? I guess because he was scared he would look suspicious? I guess. Whatever. Yes, my lord. So, the skylight opens. Perhaps I should investigate. Yeah, I did already. I'm ahead of the game.
Objection.
On the night in question, the victim was fatally stabbed in the stomach. And immediately afterwards, the victim's body was pushed through the skylight into the cabin below. Those are the facts, and the irrefutable proof remains clearly visible in the omnibus that stands before us today in this very courtroom. And what sucks is since we didn't know how to open it before, we don't know if that bloodstain was there before or after the tampering. Like, we can't prove that at all, because nobody checked that. The police didn't even check that. So we cannot prove if this is legitimate evidence, which sucks because this is what proves our theory. But that could be tampered. So that sucks. But yeah. What? That's utter humbug. Ah, you can't possibly have any evidence. Nom.
No, you can't. I mean, we didn't do it. I tell you, it's impossible.
Irrefutable proof? Here, in this courtroom. We've never had irrefutable proof in this courtroom before. Sounded like he was, like, insulting the judge. Counsel? Sorry. I was drinking.
Counsel,
My lord.
I believe everyone would appreciate a little clarification here.
Yeah, I know.
Where exactly within the omnibus is the evidence?
Oh, wow.
You pointed out.
Got it.
By Jupiter! Is that blood?
This bloodstain proves two things. If it's not forged. Firstly, when the incident occurred, the skylight of the omnibus was open. What? And secondly, the victim was already bleeding when he fell through the opening.
Oh my.
And so it follows that Mr. McGuilded, who was inside the enclosed cabin himself at the time, cannot possibly be guilty of this crime. Or is that what he wants us to think? No!
Order!
Oh, he actually got a voice line there. But the blood could have been sprayed up there when the fellow was stabbed inside. That's not a blood spray. Also, again, it would only do that after you pull the knife out. It only found its way to that one particular spot on the skylight. Sure, and that would be very convenient. And let's keep in mind, the skylight catch can only be unfastened from the roof deck. Also, again, forensics note. There would not be that much blood at all. In my opinion, there wouldn't even be enough to be on the seat, let alone on the floor and the skylight. Like, it feels forged to me.
I myself wouldn't have been able to open it now, would I? But, there's no way to know for certain, is there? If the gent really fell through the skylight, I mean. Why don't you have a good look at the floor of the cabin between the two seats, Mr. First? The part that's forged, that part, it's all too plain, if you see. There's the aftermath that shows the poor fella dropped from a fair height right there, so it is.
What? No.
But it can't be. It's all
lies.
lies.
My fellow jury members, I think we can all agree that this is clear proof of the defendant's innocence, can't we? Objection. I'm surprised Van Zeeks hasn't come out with that yet.
I believe we can, yes, sir. It's clear to me now where the filthy rubbish can be found in this courtroom. So, they thought they could pull the wool over my eyes, did they?
Oh my gosh. She's just writing her fanfiction. I won't tolerate any of the guild's carriages being sullied with blood. I won't tolerate it.
Oh, I always knew that nice gentleman who gave us that delightful party couldn't have done such a thing.
On 3 then, everyone. 1, 2... Why is she doing it? She's already... Okay. 3.
Objection.
Yep. Knew it. Leg? Is it leg time? No, it's not leg time. A chilling performance, Mr. McGuilded.
Oh, and what would you be referring to there, Lord Van Zeeks?
A blood stain on the frame of the skylight. Such evidence is null and void.
What? Why?
For one extremely simple reason. It's clearly been tampered with. That smear of blood never existed.
See, he can't say that either. It wasn't written on the police report. You could call in all of the people that searched it and you could ask, but I doubt anyone even opened it to look.
Objection.
What are you talking about? It's there for all to see and it's clearly blood, but you know that all the stuff was taken out and they don't even address the fact that the blood stain was forged on the floor.
Objection.
I personally attended Scotland Yard's investigation of the omnibus. The officers involved went over the carriage with a fine-tooth comb. So I can state with absolute surety. No such smear of blood existed in the carriage. At least not until this trial began.
But
Are you suggesting, Lord Van Zeeks, that this stain of blood was...
Fabricated, my lord? Yes. And while the court has been in session.
what? It's pretty obvious when it happened, y'all. What a palaver. I don't know what that means. I must say I didn't expect such crude reasoning from a prosecutor of your standing, Lord Van Zeeks. Okay, sure. Whatever. But I'm Magnus McGuilded, a fellow known all over the capital for his fine contributions to public life. I don't take kindly to slander, and I'll fight it to the bitter end. Even if it's rolling off the tongue of the Reaper of the Bailey.
Mr. McGuilded, I realize that this is your first appearance in court as the accused. However, I am well aware of your involvement behind the scenes in a great many affairs of dubious nature. You're very adept when it comes to avoiding getting your own hands dirty. And each time it happens that a case you're involved in is investigated, you adapt the facts.
Adapt the facts? What does that even mean?
I gotta have a drink to get through this. When you wield a fortune When you wield a fortune the size of Mr. McGuilded's, however ill-gotten it may be, nothing is impossible. Tampering with evidence, manipulating the scene of a crime, bribing witnesses. I toast your ability to concoct the most convenient of stories, sir.
Lord Van Zeeks. This will not do, to be sure. Will it now, counsel? Huh? Oh, no! I think it's fair to say, this does all sound like a rather far-fetched excuse by a desperate man. The blood on the skylight didn't exist, you say? But if you all cast your minds back, is it not true that the omnibus has been has been in the courtroom the entire time? How could anyone possibly have put a smear of blood on it without the world and his wife seeing? When the whole smoke grenade thing happened? Just saying. Isn't that right now, counsel? It's true. The omnibus has been in full view the entire time the court has been in session.
My learned friend. Here's to hearing your opinion on this matter. In your own words.
I like that. He's telling him not to listen to McGuilded. That's cool. As you wish. Could someone have tampered with the omnibus during this trial? If you're asking me, I think it's very possible. Actually, no. It's not could. It's they did.
As a defense lawyer, it's my job to advocate for the defendant as best I can. But still, I feel as though there's something even more important at stake here. Well, the thing is, though, you are advocating as best you can, because, like, you can't just lie, you know? That's not a professional opinion, no. Okay. There is no evidence to suggest that the defendant did as my learned friend suggests. However, in terms of having the opportunity to carry out the alleged tampering, there is one possibility.
Oh!
Good gracious! Explain yourself, counsel!
Do I really need to? Are y'all that stupid? This happened 45 minutes ago. Yes, there is. Seems my learned Nipponese friend has no intention of running from this deceit. Of course not.
Deceit!
I'm sure everyone still remembers clearly the recess that we were forced to take. As a result of the smoke grenade fired by the witness currently in the stand, Miss Gina Lestrade. She tips her hat. Do we really need a flashback? This happened 45 minutes ago. The courtroom was filled with smoke and everyone was thrown into confusion. All of us were made to leave this chamber. In that brief interval, under the veil of smoke and in all the chaos, it could have been possible to steal inside the omnibus. Yep, he's right. Are you wise? What are you trying to pull, you rotten feckless gouger? Feckless? What? I don't even know what that means. You're supposed to be defending me. 'Tis a wicked plot. 'Tis a plot to undermine me, so it is. Whatever you think this is, it changes nothing. The facts are the same. After this courtroom was evacuated earlier as a result of the smoke grenade, a number of inconsistencies materialized in relation to the omnibus.
Inconsistencies, such as?
To start with, the storage compartment underneath the rear passenger seat. Yeah. When the police investigated the omnibus, this compartment was full of the driver's items. Secondly, we have the smear of blood on the edge of the skylight. As I have said, that was not present at the start of the trial this morning.
Unfortunately, Lord Van Zeeks, I think you're full of shit. No one is able to corroborate your claims.
The police are... No, it's not true. You could call in the police. I swear. That's true. When the omnibus was first wheeled out, both the storage compartment and the skylight were shut. But we opened it. You remember?
Accordingly, I'm afraid to say, we cannot establish with any certainty if this evidence is the result of tampering or not.
Indeed, my lord. No doubt there was not a single person who saw fit to verify such things. So, in this instance, since that evidence is unusable, our theory falls flat. And we can't acquit him. Because, like, that's the only piece of evidence we have that's legitimate. And it might not even be legitimate. What do you think? Sorry? About the omnibus. Is there anything else unusual about the omnibus? Yeah, it's the thing in the floor. My lord.
Yes, counsel.
There is one further inconsistency. A mark that surely could not have been present at the start of the trial.
What?
What in the devil's name are you going to say now? If you dare to betray me, you little maggot, you'd better start watching your back. Whoa! Silence, McGuilded! Okay. Van Zeek stood up for us. He stood up for us. Good on you, Van Zeeks. Because that was a literal death threat that our defendant just gave us in a court under sworn testimony. Like, that is in the court transcript right now. The court awaits the defendant's clarification. This trial keeps swinging one way and then the other. I've no idea what's the truth and what's deception. I do. It's pretty simple. What am I supposed to believe here?
I shall have to ask you to elaborate, counsel. Where exactly is this alleged mark that you claim appeared at some point during the trial?
It's right there.
Got it.
If we consider that the victim fell through the skylight onto the floor of the cabin, you would certainly expect to find signs of blood where he landed. Not really with the knife in him. Again, also, the knife would have moved. Like, it wouldn't be stuck in there perfectly if he was thrown through a skylight. But as far as I recall, this blood stain on the cabin floor was not there when the omnibus was first brought into the courtroom.
Good Lord! Yes, I do believe you're correct, counsel.
Well said. Although, as advocate for the defense, one might say that was a very careless slip of the tongue. I believe that bloodstain on the floor is a decisive piece of evidence. But if the question is whether that evidence is genuine, or whether it was unlawfully fabricated by someone, I feel compelled to admit that there's at least a possibility that the evidence is fake. Look at him go. Arrgh! This trial is over. Mr. McGuilded, I've done everything I possibly can to cooperate with the court, but 'tis all over now. But you're the defendant. You don't it is over, I tell ye! Yeah, that's the look of an innocent man. That's the look of an innocent man. Memory, recollection, what people think they saw. 'Tis all nonsense. Facts are what counts, and the fact is that bloodstain is there, now. Well, and over the course of this desperate trial, long and extremely drawn out as it has been, that good-for-nothing Reaper of the Bailey has failed to present any decisive evidence at all. I mean, yeah, all of his is circumstantial, sadly. All of it is, he was in there. That's about it. He was in the carriage when it happened. By process of elimination, it has to be him. So he has just as much of a reason to suspect him as he does Gina. With evidence, at least. Scandalized, so I am. Thought better of Lord Van Zeeks. Well, my lord?
Yep, you seem innocent to me. I must concur with the defendant. The unaffirmed recollections of an individual cannot stand as evidence.
It was written down by the yard. I almost read that in McGuilded's voice. I'm so exasperated I can't even... Okay.
At this moment in time, the particular bloodstain in question is very much in existence.
But, okay.
And in the absence of any credible method by which to prove its alleged previous non-existence,
we could literally just ask the officers. That's literally all we have to do.
I regret to say that it would be improper for this trial to continue.
Your lordship can't be serious.
Lord Van Zeeks, what is your position?
He is pissed. It's clear that he hates this guy and he wants him in jail. And man, that's gotta suck. But he didn't have anything better to work with. The prosecution, my lord, has no further witnesses or evidence to present.
Very well. In that case, as I believe we have explored every possible avenue in this matter, I shall proceed to my adjudication whether the jury likes it or not. As a formality, I am of course obliged to confirm with the defense first.
What formality? As things stand at the moment, it would seem that Mr. McGuilded would be found not guilty. Yes, which would mean we've won. Is that really the right outcome here? Lawfully, yes. Morally, probably not. Is it really alright for the trial to come to an end now with all these unexplained inconsistencies?
Counsel for the defense, Your closing statement, please.
We get a closing statement, but we didn't even get an opening statement? Okay. Yes, my lord. The defense believes Runo is gonna stick to his guts. He's gonna stick to his morals, in my mind, because that's what I did the first time I played it. We're saying the defendant could be guilty. I am here in this courtroom today to advocate for the defense of my client, Mr. McGuilded. However, at this moment in time, I cannot in all good conscience attest fully to the defendant's innocence. Well, you can plead other things.
What are you saying, man?
Lock him up. Without any question, there is no conclusive evidence to prove that the defendant is guilty. However, there's also no conclusive evidence to prove that he is innocent, which means he is, because you don't prove innocence. Your innocence is assumed.
Good gracious me! Order! This is unprecedented behavior, counsel.
You get that a lot in Ace Attorney games.
A defense lawyer calling the accused innocent into question. Are you sound of mind?
Oh, it was a grand decision to appoint you as my lawyer, so it was. A grand decision. What? I must say, I didn't expect quite such an exciting spectacle at the end there, but still. Here, have this for your travels.
Hit me in the eye again. Ah!
Your job here is done, fella. And some fine work you've done, so ye have.
What do you mean?
'Tis just as the right honourable gentleman so succinctly put it afore. The trial can't go on any more. And your closing statement there was, how did he put it now? Nothing more than a formality.
That's what an innocent person would say in this scenario. That's the laugh of an innocent man.
I really don't know what to make of all of this.
Was the evidence we've seen genuine, or was it fake?
His lordship would be fuming. Any unsightly rubbish should be disposed of promptly, as I said. The stinking wretch are always guilty of something, you... Mark my words! I feel terribly ashamed that I ever doubted that young, lovely man who gave us the lovely park.
She doesn't see anything wrong with that evil laugh he just gave.
Now the proceedings have unfolded in this way. I guess I have to declare not guilty. I'm compelled to declare premature end to this trial. Furthermore...
So, in other words, it was a mistrial. Van Zeeks really shouldn't have even been able to take this to court. He didn't have enough evidence.
The court must accept the defendant's plea.
So it's a mistrial. Again, he's not declared not guilty. There just wasn't enough evidence.
I thank you kindly, me lord.
I hereby pronounce the verdict of this court.
But we still haven't determined if the bloodstain in the omnibus is genuine or not. We don't know if these witnesses are telling the truth or a pack of lies. We have no idea about the truth. Hey, Ryunosuke? We're not here to learn the truth. We're here to determine a man's guilt or innocence. Like, that's a hard truth, but it is. Like, the detectives are the ones that are supposed to figure out the suspects.
Lord Van Zeeks.
My lord?
The case made by the prosecution was flawed, plain and simple.
He's right.
If indeed the omnibus presented as evidence was tampered with, the prosecution is at fault for allowing such a disgraceful perversion of justice to take place.
Well, I'm sorry that I believed that all of London was burning down and I left the courtroom. Pray forgive the discourtesy of fearing for my life. My sincerest apologies, my lord. But wait! When we were evacuated from the courtroom, Lord Van Zeeks ordered the evidence to be secured. But he didn't make sure that that happened, though.
I'm afraid the prosecution cannot shun responsibility in this matter.
That's so unfair!
The culpability of the defendant has not, at the present time, been established by this court. Consequently, the jury will not be required to proffer judgment.
Yeah, it's a mistrial. What? What? Sorry, I forgot his voice. Well, Lord Van Zieks, it's been a pleasure, so it has. And as for you, me dear fella, I couldn't have asked for a better defense.
You mean to tell me this has all been a grand waste of time?
'Tis the law of the land, me good man. If you'd like to pursue this matter further, you can always go ahead and try to change the law.
Oh, he's livid. Magnus McGuilded.
Good grief! You've more to say to me, have ye?
Just one thing. A warning. This is far from over.
Well, something to be looking forward to, then. Wah ha ha ha!
I hereby pronounce the defendant, Mr. Magnus McGuilded, not guilty.
Yay. We did it. They are literally setting off fireworks in a courtroom. It's not a fire hazard at all. We did it. We're so happy. We won. Can't believe it. This is an outrage. I should have examined the evidence more.
What are you talking about? The man's been cleared. He's innocent.
I mean, he's not really been cleared. The charges have just been dropped. With the courtroom in pandemonium for the second time that day, the judge delivered his verdict. And my first ever trial in Great Britain came to an abrupt end, with the defendant being found not guilty. Ostensibly a victory for us. My gosh, that took forever. That was 4 hours? Dang.
That certainly was a long trial.
Ah, yes, it was.
Your first ever trial on foreign soil, and your first victory. It was a wonderful performance. My heartfelt congratulations.
Well, you helped. Yeah, and to you, Mrs. Otter, thank you for your assistance. I suppose we should be happy. Trouble is, we're still completely in the dark about what actually happened.
But we didn't have enough time.
But isn't it wrong? I mean, who was actually responsible for Mr. Mason's death? We don't even know that!
The sole aim of the defense is to obtain a verdict that exonerates the defendant.
No, it's not. It's to advocate for the defendant's best interests. You can choose to plead guilty, and it's just, the whole trial will just be trying to get down the charges as much as possible.
You carried out your duty to perfection.
Aye, that you did! I hate him so much. I hate this guy so much. Mr. McGuilded. Ah, and that girl is with him too.
Well, it seems the stories are true.
Oh, what stories?
About the 6 enormous fireworks they do be letting off when there's a verdict and not guilty. I'm sure you must have seen them now. Spectacular, wouldn't you say?
Yes, definitely.
I'd heard it was a sight to behold, and to be sure it was. And I've you to thank, I suppose,
for having an opportunity to see it.
Oh, ah, 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 ah!
He's so evil. Oh, I don't know about that. I'm not sure I really did anything.
What on earth are you saying, fella? How did I walk out there a free man, then?
Because of Lord Van Zieks lacked evidence. Oh my gosh, he has gall. I don't think it was so much thanks to me as down to your planning. Oh my gosh. He's literally just saying you killed him.
You're a straight-talking fella, aren't ye? I must say you better be watching your back. I mean, really. I must say you had me astray in the head there once or twice.
Yeah, I noticed.
But you're young and headstrong. And 'tis water under the bridge. Congratulations, Mr. McGuilded, on having your name cleared.
Nothing's resolved.
There's only one thing that matters to me. Oh, aye, that I'm not in the clink. They've all seen that I didn't do that odious and obstinate deed. 'Tis grand, is it not?
I suppose it is.
Now the fine fellows at Scotland Yard can take matters into hand and sort out any wee details. They'll see it for what it is. They'll go to the truth. I've absolute faith in them, so I have. After all, I do be providing a good number of their wages with all the taxes I pay.
Gosh, it's not that funny.
So then, as we agreed aforehand, 1,000 guineas for your troubles, fella.
Oh, no, I couldn't possibly accept that much. See, now I kind of agree with him because he, now he could use it against us, right? Like, it's kind of scary. I can't blame him.
Ah, bewitched! You're a humble people, are you? You from the east.
Okay.
Well, if you insist. But have this, still and all. You deserve a reward.
Mr. Magnus McGuilded. Everything is ready, sir. If you'd like to follow me into the courtroom.
Into the courtroom? What's this, officer? 'Tis sooner than I was led to believe.
Hope it's not inconvenient, sir. There were some changes to the schedule.
Well, I must be making tracks now. 'Tis time for the inspection.
Sorry, what inspection?
They're going to examine the omnibus again, so I'm told. I asked if I could be present for it myself.
Weird.
They're going to examine it again, now? Naturally, I'm under no obligation to take part in any more of this matter now. But as an upstanding member of London society, I do be doing me best to help where I can. 'Tis a gentleman's duty, so it is.
Okay.
So then, fare thee well. 'Twas an absolute pleasure meeting yous. I hope you have a whale of a time while you're studying here in Great Britain.
And there he goes. A free man. Hi, Gina. Oh, I forgot she was here too. Oh. Yep. Uh-huh. Don't move! Whereas I want to say, get a move on. She really does take forever to load that thing. Miss Lestrade, would you mind putting that thing down? You grown up. Sorry? And I hate all grown ups.
Ah, there you are.
Yes! I love her so much! She's my second favorite. Her and Sholmes are constantly battling for my favorite character. Yes, listen to her theme song! She has the best theme song. She has the best theme song in the game.
Naughty, naughty, running off like that.
Is some kind of picnic? Who's this little girl now?
I'm taking that with you as well. I was looking forward to the trial run of my experimental smoke grenade launcher.
Oh, bless her. Huh. Look at her!
Oh, do you want to play? You won't beat me.
Excuse me, but who are you?
Oh, good day to you. I'm, well, the inventor, I suppose, of that machine.
The inventor?
Well, normal smoke grenades are so dull, don't you agree? White, white, and more white. If you have to be shrouded in smoke, it could at least be a pretty colour, I thought to myself.
Do we have to be shrouded in smoke, though, at all? I love her so much.
I just took my eyes off of it for a moment whilst I was changing onto a different omnibus, and she pinched it. Luckily, I fitted it with a telegraphic beacon.
What? A what? I have no idea what this girl is talking about.
Anyway, you're coming with me now, back to my laboratory.
What? What for?
To apologise, of course, silly, to my technician.
What? You mean, say sorry?
You must say sorry when you've done something wrong. Surely an adult has told you that before.
An adult? I don't listen to no adults. Ah!
Come along then, follow me. fine. Have it your way. Oh, good. See, I knew you'd want to do the right thing in the end while I'm pointing a gun at you. I'm fairly sure that what she wants is not to get shot by that massive gun of yours. I love her so much. Well, I'll be leaving now then. Bye-bye. I'm so sorry for all the fuss. Oh, I love her so much. I want her back. She was a lively one. Well, do you think perhaps we ought to be on our way now too? Yes, you're right, but where to? Oh! We haven't had time to find a place to stay. No sooner had we arrived in London than we had to rush straight here. All our travelling cases are still with the bailiff.
I was originally planning to spend today in search of lodgings.
But at this late hour in the day, I'm afraid we may be out of luck.
Don't worry though, I have a plan. If the worst comes to worst, I've heard of a lovely park where we could spend the night.
Please tell me you're not thinking of McGuilded Park.
I know it may be a little chilly at this time of year, but our youthfulness will see us through.
I'm not so sure about that. I'm an old man of 23 years old. I think a midwinter London night will freeze a young person solid just as easily as an elderly one.
Oh dear, that doesn't sound agreeable.
Now I'm starting to regret turning Mr. McGuilded down. That 1,000 guineas would have paid for a lovely warm room or mansion. And so, the trial to determine my worthiness for the study tour was over by the end of our first day in London. However, as we were soon to learn, there were more trying times ahead, just as the Reaper of the Bailey had warned. The case was far from over.
What's going on? Get the fire brigade! Water! Bring water, quick! What the? How did this happen?
I don't know, sir. By the time I got here, it was already engulfed.
No one was supposed to be allowed in here before we started investigating. No. Oh, good God. There's someone in there.
This can't be.
If you couldn't recognize that, that was part of the Reaper's theme song. That was part of Enzeke's theme song right there at the end. It's really good. It's really good. I hope that you enjoyed it. It's a lot of fun. I'm very excited to get into the next case. I love this game so much. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.